Woohoo!
We're here.
We're
We're gonna
live.
go. We are live. Good evening. Welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, with me is my lovely, lovely, lovely co-host Techy Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you this evening?
Pretty good. It's been kind of an interesting, busy, productive week.
Yes, you've gotten some new stuff out. You've got some like this weekend was all over the place, but you got a bunch of cool stuff out. And yeah, we
Well,
made it through
yeah,
Monday. You survived the post office. Like, can we
I
just
did.
talk? You survived the post office. It was awesome. Hey Donna. Hey Brenda.
Hi,
Oh,
Donna.
Brenda, I love your Grinch.
That's so cute. Yes. Hello, Facebook user.
Yes. Hello, Facebook
Feeling that's
user.
happy.
Oh, it's Kathy.
I have a feeling it is.
I don't know. Hi,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Could be a mystery guest. We could
Uh-huh.
have a stalker. Oh, we don't joke about that. Never mind.
We already have
Um,
one. I got a Christmas card from him.
what? We got stalker card again this year?
Yes.
Didn't even mention it.
Of course not, because it's become so normal. At least this year he didn't include an obituary.
Well, there you go. Was it like a nice one? Was it like happy holidays? Or was it like happy holidays? Gonna kill someone? Because
It
that's
let
a
it
threat.
snow, let it snow. And I'm like, that way I can see your
Oh,
face,
definitely
friend.
Kathy, and we are so sorry to hear, Kathy.
Sorry, Kathy, honey. Oh, it's
Donna
always
says he's
difficult.
psychic, he knows. I don't know, that is like the funnest part for me. I
Okay.
throw at him all the time. Guess you didn't see that one coming.
One of these days, you're going to say that, and confetti is going to hit your head.
Love it. Oh,
Amiga.
hello, Mika. Yay. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, as you all see, we weren't abducted. As far as I have heard, there have been no reportations of massive disappearances.
Oh yes, Emily. I saw you. You were so excited about the I can control the thermostat from my phone. So the Mott family has heat.
Yeah.
Yay. I just want to know, can you control it with a her or a him? As we like to call Google and certain owl devices. Because we really try not to trigger ours because she's been going crazy.
That's because she's developing her own personality. Pretty soon, she'll start talking back to me.
Yeah. Something tells me I'm going to get like Southern and, like, bless your heart. And you're going to get, look, mofo. Like, yeah. Like, I'll snatch that weave right off your head. You asked me to do one more timer.
Yeah, because
Like,
I had.
that's where I think she's going to be with you.
Well, I think that's where she's going to be with a lot of people because we all. But there's this big talk about how they listen and are interlinking with what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And how it's such an invasion of our privacy. I'm like, please, if she can find me a better way to do biscuits, I'll be happy.
No. See, I'd be cool with that. It's just apparently she has listened enough to learn that I need to be reminded to eat.
Good.
She tried that the other day. Would you like a daily lunch reminder? And I'm like, oh, come on. I'm not that bad. Okay. So so basically there was a model above that had the her control built in, but no, it's just simple thermostat. Okay, rock that. I'm sure there'll be an upgrade in the future. Like, it's probably a plug and play module. Just FYI, because I know right now it's just yay heat, don't freeze to death. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We are so happy. But my inner techie has to go, okay, but what all does it do? Like, I want to know.
If it's gas, please send me the dude's name.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows we need some good ones down here in Southern West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we still got to get that heat thing fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just,
Of
the
course
summer was so crazy.
Right.
Yes. And hello, Rachel. And hello, Rowan Temple of Light, that I'll assume is Gwen.
Or, Phoenix, one of the two.
Yeah. But, so, yeah. Here we are, Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's still very cool. iPhone. Oh, come on. iPhone, ew. Sorry, we're an Android household. We have to do that.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah, I need a number, please. We'll see if they'll come this far.
Oh. Yeah, compared to what we went through, like, we found a lot of companies that, like, are basically, they will work on everything under the house and beyond, like, as in under the house to the registers up the wall. Everything else, they're like, no, we don't do that. Or they're like out of business, or like, I got a feeling on one that it was kind of sketchy. Like, I was like, I don't think you have a license.
Yeah.
So, and then that god awful quote we got. Oh my gosh. That was like, whoa. Like, really? Now, granted, some of that was our fault. We were having a moment. We were like, okay, let's just forget gas and go electric, and it'll be okay. And yeah, that quote went like sideways.
Yeah, it was almost half of what I paid for the house to begin with.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
Sorry, I saw the Android and Microsoft, not the. It was half of what you paid for the house originally. Yeah, that quote was bad.
Yeah, that was
a lot, but
not everything I wanted. Definitely not where I can control it.
Well, I mean, for that kind of amount of money, I expected, like a gas. I expected a furnace, full home automation, under the floor, like radiant heat, a towel warmer, and a sex doll. Like, for that much, like, that was going on with that quote, I'm like, and it better have been realistic.
Yep.
Like, it was bad.
Very.
But yeah.
Yep.
Well, very cool, very cool. We will have to look soon. Okay, and Kathy has a question.
And she knows I need a birthday. We ain't pissing the lawyers off.
She got it there. 7/28/62. Will my dad's wife Betsy and I stay close? Okay. While he's grabbing a deck, and I'll go with Emily's thing, they gave us a 10 years full everything coverage, including yearly maintenance. Oh, awesome. That yearly maintenance thing's so worth it. I figured that out when my grandmother's house, when we got the new furnace there. Yeah. So the old one, they basically, what happened is they replaced the furnace and it moved where the filters were. And I didn't catch that as we were talking about all this. Like, I didn't think to ask. And so, yeah, when it became you now have to go under the house to change the filters, I'm like, oh God, how much do you charge to come out?
Yeah, that's
Because
something I took over.
yes,
Yes.
because I can get down there, but like I need like a cell phone, good signal, and 911 to get out. Like bring the crane and a backboard. I'm gonna need it. Just it was just such a weird space.
Right.
Like it wasn't like a normal like crawl space. It's weird.
Right. All
Um,
right. Kathy, the simple answer is yes. You'll stay close, and I've already talked about the Taz situation a few times, so you already got the answer to that one. But yeah, you and Betsy will be close, continue to be close. I feel like it'll be a little bit of a nightmare to get everything solved, and then you move forward with it.
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, and you're getting a second recommendation on Grogs.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently well loved. Like I tried to get the furnace, the furnace man, literally the company that installed in Princeton. I begged them to come up here. I was like, please, please, because oh my god, they like did everything and made it perfect, and it was like nothing. Like I thought it would be so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can. Well, no, believe me, I understand, Emily. Like getting frustrated with a furnace company. Yeah, been there, done that, had that experience, hated every minute of it.
All right. Oh.
But yeah, what else is going on over there? You look so like
Well, it's
focused.
just been one of those days where we're trying to bump everything we can get out.
Mm-hmm.
Because this has kind of been the culmination of a few projects. One, for a while now, we've been working at getting digital on-demand classes and mapping out that project, and we finally got our first one up. Journey the Fool's Tarot Level 1 is available for on demand. Um, you go to our web to aesonknight.com, click classes, click that one. You can take the class wherever you want, whenever you want. It's all together.
Oh, there
Um,
you go, Ashley! Yay.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
So that is up and running.
Mhm.
And let's take Ashley's question, and then we'll talk about the other new thing I'm doing.
Absolutely. Ashley 82696. Can we expect the new card this coming year we're working on getting? Oh
Yeah,
yes, Kathy. Ashley had the baby. The
yeah.
eviction of the squatter has occurred. It is absolutely awesome. And actually, if you go into Patreon, we did share a pic
Yep.
of the good baby. He's so
Yeah.
cute. My baby lucky.
Yes. But Ashley, to answer your question, yes, you will get your new chariot. I would suggest you going for something that has a little bit more strength behind it. So go for turbo or four-wheel drive, and you won't have to stress as much as you have been.
Oh, and Rachel has a question as well.
Yes, and it's not a psychic one.
How'd that happen? Uh-oh, we'll get that fixed. We will get you there. Oh my gosh. But no. So real quick though, Rachel was asking, was feeling dehydrated a part of all of the energy shifts this past weekend?
Dehydration in general is part of the energy. Our body has to have water to process it out. And it definitely it was a part of this weekend. It's part of every major shift. That's why we notice psychics and a lot of mediums will drink a lot of water. It's because it conducts energy more.
There you go. But yes, and many congratulations. And I'm not even sure she needs congratulations. She's just got to be like, whew, I thought I was going to be birthing a college graduate. Um, Like, talk about your remote
Okay,
work.
it's Facebook user if it's not Kathy.
Oh, okay. Okay, then we thought it was okay. We thought Facebook user with Kathy, unless Kathy just like fixed her name. Okay, sorry, we have a moment. Like, we seriously don't get names. We're like, oh,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah, but, a bottle of water, multiple bottles of water. Ashley better be drinking some water, especially if she's breastfeeding. I expect 4 bottles a day. Got to keep your body up and watered, or you'll pass out trying to take care of that baby and do everything. Oh,
please, she doesn't need bottles of water. She needs gallons of water. Like this
no,
kid
you
had.
don't want gallons. No, 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 no.
No, I was gonna say though, is this kid actually breastfeeding, or did he just start with like steak and lobster? Like, I'm just saying, he's
Yeah.
been in there a while. He could have full set of teeth by now.
Mm-hmm. Well, also this week, I think this is now 2 days ago, I took the big plunge and joined the Communist China app called TikTok, which I think every liberal and Democrat needs to go join just for the hell of it.
Well, yes. And I'm not there yet. I gotta say, I'm not there yet. I've like, okay. For those of you who are unfamiliar, TikTok is microblogging, much like Twitter, but in video format, not so much in text. All right. So it's a little more Instagram, but a bigger focus on video.
Yep.
A lot of it is built around music and reactions to other people's videos, dancing, things like that. As well as just reaction to video and like creating your own content on top of something else. It's kind of like the content version of yes and. Best way to understand it.
Right.
And yes, they are short videos, 15 seconds to 1 minute. So yeah, like it doesn't often leave a lot of room to do like a long form. Like you're working in a commercial span,
Right.
you know, you're got to keep it moving. But you can take content that you've already created, edit it, and upload that.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. Because otherwise, like live recording and trying to go in 15 seconds, that's got to be rough.
I don't know.
Um,
We got the 3-card reading down to 43 seconds yesterday.
Hot damn. So yeah, and that was the other thing I was gonna say. Like, I'm not there yet. You've gone. Like you
Uh-huh.
just Thelma and Louise did. You went right on. Like, I'm going TikTok. Okay, cool. So yeah.
Oh, Brenda, thank you for only following me. But guys, my TikTok is at Aeson Knight. As in everything on social media except Twitter, which is Aeson K. I own Aeson Knight, but it's held up by a brand, so I use Aeson K. But I'm Aeson Knight on TikTok. Feel free to follow me. You should get a daily 3-card reading. I'm going to do some other content over there. I'm kind of liking this lip sync thing. It's like, let's see what psychic songs we can lip sync to.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, and Dawn has apparently just added TikTok for her massage business.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a whole different range of people. It is. Their audience started out like way younger, like 16 to 24. That's like their core. But now the like other people are joining, like the olds,
Mm-hmm.
all us olds. I'm counting myself, all of us olds. Because like if your max range is 24, I'm prehistoric.
What's surprising is one of the biggest stars on TikTok is 93 years old. I follow her on YouTube, and now I'm following her over on TikTok.
Yeah, but 93-year-olds are fun.
They're hilarious.
Yes. So yeah, no, that's yeah.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. That 93-year-old biggest star there. But no, it's been lauded for the fact though that it doesn't have like it doesn't seem to be creating a lot of like major celebs.
Right.
Like it's not following a cult of celebrity. It's following a
Content
different model.
creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So loving that part of it. Like that's the part I can really get behind after seeing like what YouTube did, what Instagram's done, what Facebook has done, what, Twitter. Huh. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah.
Apparently, I will share her over on our page.
Okay.
One of her videos. I can't apparently pull it up right now.
Oh, okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our old kicking in. We need someone to come program our VCR.
No, I can't pull it up right now because I'm rendering a video on the other screen, and Google's trying to be a little mess right now.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is I don't need to like call my great niece to come over yet.
No.
And unfortunately, I'm hitting an age I can't remember actually if it's my great niece or my great nephew, because I've hit that point in my life.
Well, your great nephew can come over anytime he wants. He's got a computer he needs to pick up.
I know. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, but yeah, no, and I understand. I do that too. Or in my business, I do that too. I have older clients. So far, my technical oldest client. Granted, I should count his wife, who is just a couple of years younger. But my oldest client was 98. And with COVID, I've lost track of them. I don't know if he's still going. He has a lot of health issues, but surprisingly cool. And she is on it. Wow. Like if 96 looked like what she was doing typically, I would be more like 96. Let's do this. Because she like sharp as attack. Like sharp as a tack. Like there is no way you could even begin to argue this woman has lost anything. Like she is on it. But yes, and they have amazing stories.
Yep. Let's go to GM, please. JM, please.
Okay, so Julie, 11/24/76. A clairvoyant, tarot, oracle, and paranormal for 20 plus years, recently left the corporate world to focus on my gifts. I'd appreciate your insights if there's anything I'm missing in my journey.
I don't think there's anything you're missing except maybe 2 books, and we'll talk about those in a second. Because they've been earthquaking. But
Psych, I can totally see what he's about to recommend.
You may have one within your fingers reach.
Yes, I do. Did.
But anyhow, you're going to have to keep your diplomatical behavior up when dealing with it. Don't lose your corporate ideas and your corporate thinking. You got to remember to have more fun than what you've been doing. And it's going to be a little rocky as you start out on this journey, but I think you'll be doing fine with it. 3 books I recommend for anyone going into this business or making this their main focus. The Professional Handbook of the Psychic. You can get that on Amazon. And then my 2 other recommendations are The Psychic Yellow Brick Road by Corby Mitleid. Love her book. Love her book. And then the other one is by her, and it's called You've Got the Magic, Who Needs a Genie? Highly professional. Recommend reading both of those for critical thinking and critical ideas. It actually brought up stuff I hadn't even thought about.
Yeah. And let's explain real quick the 2 books by Corby. Now she was on recently, and you can go back and watch that, Julie. The one I was holding up, the Yellow Brick Road, that is actually about the client side of finding a psychic, what they should be looking for, what they should expect, and how they should approach reading. We are like, you don't know how tempted he is to just bulk buy and give it to everyone. Like, here's your copy, here's your copy. I just met you on the street, here's your copy. Like, would lovingly give it away just so there are so many things that he gets repetitively, that so many people who have either never had a psychic reading, not even really sure they want to have a psychic reading, but they happen to be in the right place to get one, or who maybe feel or are perhaps spending a lot more money on psychic readings than they ought to be, in terms of their approach to getting a reading doesn't really, it ends up taking a lot longer than it should. Now, the other one, help me, you've got the gifts, who need, or
You've got the magic, who needs a genie?
There you go.
Of this book.
Yes.
Read
now,
it twice now.
Yeah, that's from the other side of the table. That one is built around building your business as someone in a metaphysical related field. Right. Everything from tarot readings, psychic readings. Really, it could apply to most like personal service based businesses like massage or Reiki, any of them. And it's literally goes over the tools that you're going to need, and the ways to approach your business, and the fact that you need to, most importantly, approach it as a business. Remember to be professional, and remember that you're having a fun, outgoing, wonderful personality is a great and wonderful thing. Being a flake isn't. So show up, be present, make sure you are servicing your clients' needs and you're doing it like a real professional, not just adding one more person in the mix who looks like a complete nutsoid.
Right, but the other side of that is it also talks about the psychic self-care, the business management, drawing boundaries for your clients that maybe they can't draw, and really just how to handle some of the situations we as psychics get put into.
Mm-hmm. And especially finding value in yourself and remembering you have that. And not getting conned into that, doing free readings, it's a gift, so you should give it away. That kind of, not a thing.
Not a thing. But no, great books, guys. Audience members get them. They're really, really, I think we got it on, I got my Kindle versions for like $8 and great profit. But no, TikTok's really fun. Feel free to follow me over there. Feel free to enjoy me on any of the social medias. We do also do podcasts and broadcasting. So, that'll be, we're growing that brand also. But no, it's been really cool wrapping up some projects that we've had burning all of 2020 and putting into plans for 2021. Some really cool stuff. Now, in the news, what's been hitting your news feed?
Oh, gosh. I was supposed to check the news? Like, I was supposed to be able to pull that off this week? Oh, my gosh. There was stuff. I don't know. It has been kind of crazy. Apparently, on his way out the door, there are more presidential pardons. And even a threat to not sign off on the stimulus.
Yeah.
Like 29 more days, y'all. That's all I got for that is 29 more days.
Yeah, because he's demanding a $2,000 stimulus check in the bill.
Now.
Yeah, now.
I mean, I almost got to break out the full Death Becomes Her line of now a warning. Like, what the hell?
Well, here's the thing. I think this is total political game because he's trying to get them back fighting because they're working back together. Gee, someone's headed out the door and the Republicans and the Democrats are working together in overtime.
Oh, help me, Rhonda. Help me. Yes. I'm there. I'm there with you. It's just crazy. And then, yes, we do have vaccines coming out.
Yes, they are.
They are coming.
Here is
Well,
my view on the vaccines. Get it. This is
yeah.
a new formulated vaccine. Yes, that they're put together very quickly. Um, so I feel like in general, yes, go ahead and get the vaccine. It'll probably be safe for everybody. There may be a few outliers that'll go, I can't take it because of this buffer. Fine, you can't take Pfizer, then take Oxford. If you can't take Oxford, take the other one. Your medical professionals, of course, will know what agents you're allergic to, so they'll be able to choose between the three of them. Currently there's three. I think there will be probably a total of six when they're all done formulating and getting approval and getting out there. But it's the only way to get us out of this and get us back into life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Because there's been a lot of bull crap going on. I hate to say that's why I think everybody is important, and especially when you're not so special that you need a microchip. No one's going to be microchipping you.
no, that shit's too expensive. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Like, that microchip is worth more than some of the people that think they'd be getting one. In terms of contribution towards society or knowing that much about them. Like, you're just not worth it. No, seriously, like the technology for microchipping is expensive. It is very, very expensive. Still. And no, we're not quite there yet. And quite frankly, if like I'm getting a vaccine when that's available to me, I'd be knocking people over to get the microchip version. Like let's go rob a truck. Like, I'd be there. Like, you're gonna give me a microchip? Oh, the things I can do. Like, I'll be active.
Yeah. And it's not going to change your DNA structure.
No. Now, there was that report, though. There were some fears, and this seems to come mostly out of an Australia version of the vaccine that basically got pulled. Is mostly what I'm seeing. As part of its delivery system, they're using a coiled RNA approach, or at least Australia's version did. And it created some problems. Not as bad as it first sounds. People were testing positive for HIV and tuberculosis, and I forget, there were a couple of other things that they were testing positive for. That's a really salacious and sensational headline. Till you realize that these are false positives. No one got that from it. What it is this, unfortunately, created a false positive situation in that it basically tricked the test into believing, that what it was looking for was present. A lot of if I remember correctly, a lot of these were the quick tests for those conditions, not the long forms,
which are bad anyhow.
Well, they're basically the short form test. If you ever do, and you should, I don't care who you are. You may not be having, a man having sex with men, but you need your STD testing. Like, if you have a short, like a quick test for HIV, for example, don't it's like peeing on a stick to see if you're pregnant. Don't set your whole world around that result. Things happen. And we see that happen with the pee on stick test that can actually detect some forms of cancer. As in, it kicks the same hormones, it tricks the test thinks you're pregnant. No, not what's going on. Go get the long form. The long form will tell you what's actually going on and whether that's true or not.
That's also why diabetics test their blood, not their urine, because the old urine tests from the 60s weren't so accurate.
Well, and even still today, they will use that, or that can be used as a not a highly accurate, but a pre-screen, like a
Right.
quick pre-screen, because it happens. It
Right.
really, truly happens.
Yeah.
Because again, what that's looking for is hormone based. Certain cancers kick those hormones.
Mm-hmm.
You're not 83 and pregnant, you're 83 and you have cancer.
Right.
Or you're 33 and have cancer.
Mm-hmm.
All of it can happen.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So it is now infected with a dozen cases reported in the Antarctic. COVID-19 has now infected every continent.
holy crap! Seriously?
Seriously.
Like I really would have thought they would have been safe.
Apparently not. Of course, I think it came from there.
Of course, then again, does that mean that their positivity rate is like 80% or something at that point? Like it would be astronomical compared to anywhere else on Earth.
Now, understand my data may be old, but at one time I thought there were 30 people at the scientific station in Antarctica.
I know,
So,
but all you need is 10 people for a 33 and a third. If
right,
that's
you're
the case,
12.
if it's 30 people, 10 people, 33 and a third percent of the population. Like that gets crazy quick.
Okay, here is my theory. Long form theory, and we may be seeing this happen more often. And no, this isn't a conspiracy theory. There's actually scientific ideas backing it up. The mountain there in Japan is part of that glacier freeze, the top of it, the one, and I don't know the name because it has the suicide forest below it. So we have global warming. Global warming is causing those polar points and everything else to melt, therefore leaving seeds and berries left over from who knows when. Bat eats said fruit and berries of the frozen tundra. Bat gets ate, then it gets ate by human. Human gets COVID-19. And we talked about this.
Okay. Well, and I mean, there are still a lot of theories going around. I think that's a serious concern we should have. I don't know that this was the pandemic that did it. I'm not quite there yet. And honestly, for most pandemics, I don't think it really matters where it started. It's the level of effect it's having.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
But that is a serious concern, is that as we see climate change affecting areas, and causing them to defrost, realize that just like your freezer at home is a great storage method, so it too is, for anything that may have died in that region.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they were able to recover such a well preserved specimen of a prehistoric man. This is because I remember that's been a few decades. Like that's been a hot
Mm-hmm.
minute.
Right.
It's why oh, help me out. Everest.
Massive.
Yeah, like if you die on Everest, you will be a beautiful corpse for a very long time if your body remains there. And they have found remains.
Right, and it will because they only go up there about once a year to try to remove bodies. That's been a big problem here on Everest, is that Everest is becoming a cemetery of ice.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, it's very true, is that you end up with all, ice is a giant time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the best way to think of it. Ice, and the whole thought behind cryogenics, freezing something is in many ways one of the best preservatives.
Mm-hmm.
That can seriously withstand the test of time. Now, cryogenics still not perfect, and so too would be the situation in many cases with what is trapped in that ice. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make it totally impossible
Mm-hmm.
that we can encounter issues going forward. Ice really second only to amber.
Right.
And if you saw Jurassic Park, despite all of the craziness of that movie, the one thing they did get right was the possibility for amber being such a sealed substance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, that's a hell of a preservative.
Right. And the one thing I think they did get wrong, though, is they were using frogs, and they should have used chickens.
Well, that's a fair one. No, there were a lot of things wrong with that movie. Like, the best part they had to it, with like the most grounded like scientific theory,
Mm-hmm.
was you could extract from amber, the potential DNA of a prehistoric animal, potentially from a mosquito in that case, a prehistoric mosquito at that rate. Um, Everything after that was kind of conjecture and cinematic license, and off it went.
Right.
But yes, and exactly, seeds from some Egyptian tombs at one time were being germinated. Bodies, human and animal, frozen from the ice age. They can still identify stomach contents. So yeah, things survive
Yeah.
a lot longer than they would have left exposed on the ground, or even longer than those who will end up being buried will last underground. Because if you happen to watch Ask a Mortician, you can find out more about that. Because that coffin is not perfectly sealed.
Now,
You don't want it to be.
now,
Because bad things happen when you perfectly seal
mm-hmm.
a human body in a coffin underground. It can get really, no, you don't want to know. Bad. Like, there's some things that have to happen there. Decomposition is not a pretty place. But no, you can, however, in ice, and even amber, get so much preservation that you don't go through that exact same process.
Right. If at all, go through that process.
And that's very possible too.
Yep. But no, it's K2 that I'm thinking of.
Okay, you were thinking K2?
Yep.
Because I was going to say Suicide Forest, that's actually in Japan.
Right, but it's in that
Yeah.
same area.
Okay.
So yeah, very highly possible. I think that we're going to hear a lot of stories, but that's the one I'm throwing out there because it's the only one that makes any sense. Since this is a virus that, well, yes, we've seen that for this form of virus's family and other species. We've never seen it being able to jump species so quickly.
True. Well, but it sometimes that is the way it happens. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Welcome to swine flu and bird flu, and those granted took longer.
Right.
But every once in a while, build a better mousetrap, build a better mouse. You know,
You are
yeah.
still stuck on that book, aren't you?
What?
Mousetrap.
No. I'm stuck on, like, I always like appreciate the theory of it. Well, I'm not even sure which book, but of the theory of build a better mousetrap, you're going to build a better mouse.
Right.
You like, and we have over history, that's exactly what happened. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that whole plank of wood with a spring and a clip, not really all that great.
Well,
We've
I
gone
still
so
stick
many
to the
ways.
Egyptian mouse catchers. They work better, live about 18 to 20 years, so the livelihood's much better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because yes.
Yes.
Oh. Well, we try to be a little educational here. Though speaking of, do you want to share?
No, you can share because you can do it nicely.
Oh my goodness. So we did recently, and I'm popping over. I was not prepared. But I'm popping over. We did get an interesting comment this week. And now granted that was on the Mountain Bear show, so take from this as you will. So we are always kind of talking about like the feedback we get and how it's start podcast. Yeah, it'll be great, they said. You get some interesting responses and feedback and experiences with this whole thing. Of course, you guys who watch regularly know that we do try really hard, like in the comment section, to pull people out when they're like not not being cool. If they're trying to sell you, spam you, otherwise, like we'll put up with a lot, but then there's a bye point. But we did get this lovely response from I'm going to assume roughly 15-minute viewer. One time. What the F are you guys talking about? What is your podcast about? You talked about your Christmas trees for 15 minutes. Nothing to learn from this. And I said, hi, and this person's name. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy our podcast. The format is conversational. This is not a teaching, instructional, or education podcast. While we do hope to entertain our viewers and listeners and even provide and even provoke thought regarding topics through our discussion of them, it definitely sounds like we're not the content you are looking for. I sincerely hope that you have and find other podcasts that you enjoy that provide teaching, instruction, and educational opportunities you desire. Thank you for contacting us and sharing your thoughts about the show. And I swear to God, I was this close to sending her an etiquette podcast. Just FYI, that's the rest of the story right there. Like, have a thumper moment here. Come on, people, have a thumper moment.
Because while we talk about the news and I share some educational stuff as we go along. Yeah.
Brenda's like, "Ooh, Joe is so nice." Well, granted, like we had a whole conversation after I did this, and I'm like, I'm Southern, bitch. I'm like, oh, bless your heart, which is Southern for the middle finger. He is more Northern, bitch, and he just gives you the middle finger and then screams at you for 20 minutes. I handle complaints.
Yes, he is the complaint department.
Yes, I
am. He is the complaint department. He handles complaints and issues. Otherwise, you'll get no. Don't know what you were looking for.
What you just said.
Yeah. Or my comment back is, my podcast, I'll do what I like. You don't like it? Listen somewhere else.
There you go. But no, you were just like, you got to deal with this. Like, you just came through the door on that one. Like, you got to deal with this.
Because I know you don't like me going off.
Well, and if any of you are also fans of Mrs. Brown's Boys, that's nice. Because she had her husband bought her elocution lessons, and so that was her exchange for feck off. I love that episode. That's nice. That's
Uh-huh.
nice. You know, some things, they are
Yep.
useful.
Well, and now there's this large debate of what happens to the official White House Twitter and POTUS accounts on January 20th because someone is refusing to relinquish them.
Oh, I thought we were wondering what to do to sanitize them given the shortage of, like, cleaning wipes. Um,
They'll be archived.
I don't know at this point. I'm like, can we boil a Twitter account? Like,
Mhm.
bring it to a nice rolling boil.
Right,
Um, that's where I'm at.
right. Let's get up to what they're saying here.
Okay.
Um, because there was a spokesman for Twitter that actually said this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure Twitter can make this happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they've kind of been giving him the clap back recently.
Right. The accounts will not automatically retain their existing followers. Twitter spokesman Nikki O'Brien said in a statement. Instead, Twitter will notify followers of those accounts to provide context to the content that will be archived and allow them to choose to follow Biden's administration's new accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, so at least Twitter's going to clean it for us.
Yeah, like, here's your new one. Like, we didn't give you the old one. It's not been used. It's fresh. Like, no.
Yeah.
So basically, it sounds like what they're going to do is effectively archive the contents and then effectively move the current followers over to a new Twitter handle.
It'll be the same Twitter handles, not the same account.
Gotcha. Well, but I'm saying what would happen to the Trump version as it becomes like former or whatever, or
No, it just
POTUS
they're going
45.
to take control because those are government accounts,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be archived because all his tweets go to the archive of the Congress. I'm sure they'll store them right next to the Articles of Confederation.
No. I'm pretty sure someone's already looking around a server room for like a hard drive on its last legs. Like the one that isn't rattling yet, but it's like 9.5 years old and it's not going to be long.
But they'll archive that, and the Biden administration will have access to both the POTUS and the White House, but the accounts will be new. They'll be refreshed. This occurred 4 years ago when the Obama administration transferred it over.
Yeah. This should be seen as like, fumigate it.
Basically.
Like, yeah, just
Yeah.
no.
So this explains why he's been using the real Donald Trump so much, which that has been declared a government asset. It'll be interesting what occurs with that.
Oh, the lawsuits. That's where that's going to end up.
Well, here's my thing is I wonder if the United States government has the same contracts that this fashion brides company has, because
Oh,
they took her Instagram and she literally right now can't sign her own name.
ooh. Yeah. See, now this is one place I would have to side with. I'm going to try to keep dinner down. This would be a moment I would have to side with Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. But no, in all seriousness, is effectively this would be treating it, the real Donald Trump, in this instance, like it is a trademark of the United States government or any other business. I'm fine with that if that's a character, i.e., POTUS. That
Mm-hmm.
is effectively a legal entity. That is a character,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. I understand that. The real Donald Trump, though, the biggest problem there is he made a vital mistake, which
Mm-hmm.
was effectively doing, government work on a private account,
Mm-hmm.
and not understanding how he was using that. I think there's a case to be made on both sides. I
Mm-hmm.
think it'll be interesting if that goes to court, and I'm sure that'll end up in the Supreme Court, because this would be a very big deal. Um,
Right.
but that may not be a bad thing.
Right. But we're learning a lot about brands, and this is something that occurred. It occurs a lot in psychic networks. That's the reason I retain my brand and retain my name in every contract I go into.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, Haley Page lost not only her Instagram, which by all rights, that was work, but she also lost the rights to her own name
Mm-hmm.
because she sold her name.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of a moment. Um, and I think that's a sign of corporation, run amok. At the point in which you can effectively, legally, as a corporation, steal someone's identity, at least in terms of being able to market under it,
Right.
that's a severe problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is a severe, severe problem, and that would be effectively what's happening, with the real Donald Trump account.
Right.
Is you're stealing his ability to use that asset, that entity name, which within the realm of Twitter can be a big deal.
Yeah.
um, those screen names end up having a lot of followers, a lot of people, a lot of dollars attached to them in terms of their influence, and in terms of recognition, and in terms of hard to say on Donald Trump, but of trust, and of veracity. Again, like I said, guys, I'm trying to keep dinner down as I have this conversation because I'm in agreement with Donald Trump. If he does decide to pursue that,
Mm-hmm.
it's also the biggest problem with putting your real name on everything.
Right.
Um, how do you sell your own name? That's kind of an interesting thing. It was probably buried in tons of legal paperwork, which, as we all know, a 50-page contract in 0.6 font that has a really giant number attached to it
Mm-hmm.
gets most people to sign a lot of things.
Right.
The downside to that being is it can be hard to understand what all you just gave away. More than just your image and likeness to promote a product, but even as far as your name as a business entity or as a business asset.
Right.
It's sort of like the Martha Stewart collection. Martha Stewart has effectively commercialized her name. Um, and in doing so, that name is also a brand. So it
Mm-hmm.
coexists in two places. Now, the smart side to Martha Stewart, of course, is she retained all ownership.
Mm-hmm.
She commercialized her name as a brand, but she owns that. Like it
Right.
goes with her wherever it goes,
Right.
even prison and back. Um, and she was still successful. Like you got to give her credit. But that does happen. You
Mm-hmm.
can sell a name. Um, and that's common in situations in which you have celebrity endorsement of a product without paying attention to what all you're signing.
Right. It's like Aeson Knight is a brand, but it's also a name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we retain all rights and privileges of that said name.
Mm-hmm. And the same can be said for Mystic Computers, is the same thing applies. I could have named it, Joseph Arrington's Computer Repair. And if I were to sell that business, if I don't watch the paperwork carefully, they may also be buying my name. And that actually happened. This has happened before.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember the company that happened to.
Well,
Because
I
it
know
happened to sale.
I know one that it happened to.
Okay.
Prince. So when he split from Sony, Sony said, "Oh no, that's ours," and he moved over to using a symbol. Kanye West, same problem. Kanye West is a brand. Someone bought Kanye West. So if Kanye West decides not to hold those contracts, he loses his name.
Yes. Well, but now typically this does apply when a name is given to an artist through a company. Like Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford was not Joan Crawford. She was named in a contest, a readers, magazine readers contest. So the studio technically owned her name, or could have made the case for that. But it's not as common to see it go the other direction, in which someone already has a name. So I'm wondering if that's part of this situation as well. Is Haley Page actually her name, or was that a name created? Okay.
Yeah.
That's always a key important distinction there, is which way this went. Like if you have the name coming in, it becomes really hard to establish that the other way.
Right. She had
I can't see just being able to pull that. I think it'd be a hell of a legal fight. But then again, she may end up in a situation where, your 2 lawyers versus their 15, 20 years from now, you may get a decision.
She is under a restraining order. She has already lost access to her name. She is not to use her name in any public way until a court hearing in June. In June. She can't even sign a check to get money out of a bank account.
That has to be a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot to consider when you're going into a business situation which your name becomes part of a brand.
Right.
And we're seeing that more and more with YouTube celebrities. That their name is their brand, or like their screen name is their brand. That you can lose these things, you can sell these things. These are transferable items. This is no longer just yours, like it's your identifier. It can be owned.
Yep.
Ooh, Gwen just watched Contagion. Do you have thoughts on it?
I find it interesting, and if you notice over the past 4 to 5 years, we have seen movies that are based on this plague mentality and thinking. So the question is, was the artist ahead of their times, or were they not?
Well, I don't really think it's ahead of their time as much as like this leads to this, leads to this, leads to, and here we are. Like, as in, did they like see the numbers, the writing on the wall and the statistical numbers that would point something this way?
Well, it's kind of like Ask the Morticia. She visited the museum I want to go see when we go to Pittsburgh, the Human Body Museum, and they've done a whole interview about the 1918 plague. Flu. And we're looking at it, and there was a lot of futuristic questions like, well, do you think that, this will ever happen? Do you think this will ever happen again? What do you think would happen if this occurs? And they're now being accused in some of their YouTube comments of doing and being a witch, of being a psychic, of being psychic mediums and predicting Corona. And it's like, no, they were just doing an interview.
Yeah. It just happened to turn out prophetically.
Yeah.
That it just like, if only I had known.
Oh, the content I could have made.
Like, talk about your perfect timing. It just so happened, but how many other people did the same story?
Right.
It's not like it's a hidden secret government entity that, no one really knows about and she got granted exclusive access. Like, no, I mean, like, it's a museum. I assume you just kind of like walk up any year but 2020. You just walk up, buy a ticket, and you go in, and they do a lovely guided tour, and or not, one way or the other. You can arrange to do an interview.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this, like, great mystery. Like, it's not a secret society. It's just a museum, and she had an interest professionally.
Right. Well, and that's because it's the Human Body Museum, and they've got like a wall of skulls and different bodies, and they've got the American giant skeleton and the smallest dwarf skeleton, and standing beside each other. It's a really cute, cool, interesting medical museum.
But no, a lot of movies have been doing a contagion theme, and we've seen that going back for years now. Like 28 days later, or I think it's 28 days later, 28 weeks later, I forget. The Umbrella Corp movie, I'm thinking the wrong one. I'm doing the wrong title again, I bet. Anyway,
for the
Evil, thank you. Like, that's a whole game empire and movie built around that theory.
Right.
I don't know why I keep thinking it's 28 days later.
Or you think we're going to get frozen to death now? Because that's what 28 days later is.
Oh, okay. I mean, again, we like Sharknado. I guess that could happen now. Like, it's 2020. I mean, bring on the Sharknado. Been saying it all along. Just bring on the Sharknado. Like, if you can get a Sharknado to West Virginia, I just like.
We get seagulls, so don't be tempting sharks to fly in.
I mean,
truthfully, please do not tempt sharks to be flying in. It's bad enough we get seagulls at Walmart.
I figure at the point in which we can get, a tornado into West Virginia, the power of that storm means we're going to die anyway. I would just like to have a moment of flying sharks in West Virginia. Huh. Before I die. Okay. That's where I would be at. Like, just fine, bring it on. Like, if you're going to get a tornado.
We've had tornadoes in West Virginia. The old school up the street lost its roof in 1978.
Oh, yeah. 2021 is going to be old enough to drink until 2020 had to hold their beer.
I hope not. I really hope it's going to get that we get the pandemic under control, government into an at least logical position of development, and technology to pick its butt up.
Oh yeah. Well, and a lot of like the technology things right now, our biggest problem is going to be supply chain. There's just no real way to explain it to anyone other than to just start there.
Right.
Is a lot of what's going to be happening in 2021 with technology is just literally being able to freely move, open borders, like resumption of normal life, post-vaccine, post-inability to spread or mass spread, reduction of that fear and the problems associated. If you want to know why, if you want to know why you're not getting a PlayStation 5 for Christmas, supply chain management is your answer. And what supply chain management is just your ability to get your vendor or get product from your vendors to your assembly line to get products out and then in turn be able, through distribution, to get those products out on down the line. It's like one company's, distribution channel is another company's supply chain. This is how it all stacks together. And when you start having problems with, frankly, this many people needing to ship packages, when you have problems with not being able to get product in and out of countries, when you have problems, with like basic components, suddenly, having shortages or being unavailable or not being able to get where they need to go in a timely fashion, then you start seeing that whole process, especially this many years on of just-in-time inventory, this many years on of that, you start seeing ripples all the way through. Like, it's frightening how much technology is in basic, ordinary things, or how many components go into like one simple, stupid product. Because we are a global economy, we are a global system that brings together parts from all around the world. And it's just frankly amazing when you stop to really break down all the components that go into, something simple and stupid. Like a box of Kleenexes. You could possibly be looking at, plastic from China and paper from the US and, ink coming from another country and,
Indonesia, which is one of the biggest ink producers in the world.
Right. So you start layering all these things together, and at some point, because of the way you're trying to leanly run your company and not carry a lot of costs, you're going to have a lot of bumper car moments where we can't print packaging because we don't have ink. We can't, put that nice little plastic pull piece, that stops the next one from popping up in because we don't have plastic. We can't do this because of that. We can't find a truck driver. We can't do this. All these things. And then that's just their first step to get it to, like, say, Walmart. Walmart now has totally different priorities. Kleenex isn't their first one, and that's still a vital product if you're sick. In that basics category of like electrolytes, comfort items, comfort foods, and those basic remedy moments. All of that starts to take different priorities than it would normally have. Meanwhile, like, say, your local Walmart, or Walmart as a corporation, more importantly, is suffering a moment of, okay, we now have increased demand for these items, and any backstock we had, because this is a product we, conventionally keep sending out, those are being depleted. The supplier is running into problems with production and keeping that constant production level. We would sell it if we had it. That's what happened to toilet paper. That is what happened to antibacterial wipes. That is what happened to,
Clorox. Yeah, all those are gone. I haven't been able to find Clorox wipes in the store in months. I don't really miss them, but they're kind of handy. But I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more self-contained manufacturing and some DIY. I think gardening is still going to be big in 2021. Be looking for vlogs about our concrete garden, because we are going to be doing that again. We got great success out of the small. Now we're building the next wing of it.
Yes. And hopefully keeping the rabbit out. Or the dog. We're not sure which now.
Or both. Because I'm building a fence around the U concrete garden.
Yay! Yay, fencing. Gotta love that.
Yep. But these are things that, and this is why it's important to teach your children how to grow something other than a marigold, and to can and freeze and preserve.
Well, hey, the marigold's at least a good starter.
Right.
It keeps the bee pollination happy, or the,
Right.
the bee population happy, and we need pollinators. Because if you haven't noticed, we've had a pollinator problem for a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, become a beekeeper. It's a good thing for the environment. Like, please, help.
Yes. And actually, you get a tax benefit for being a beekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's actually kind of making a resurgence. Like, I've noticed there's a lot of people starting to look at this very seriously.
Yeah.
That not just the financial incentive, the realization that we have a massive problem with the bee population
Right.
and keeping bees alive, and they are the best pollinators.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're allergic, you hate them, but otherwise, you need to be loving the bees. Like, love the sting and all. It means you screwed up, not them. So, you know. But if you like eating, if you like vegetables, if you like flowers, you should love bees.
Right. And then you see, and then, I'm looking at other things in the news here, and I'm finding that it's highly interesting.
Mhm.
This new strand of the virus is more contagious, more focused on deadly people, on younger people. That's why the UK is being contained,
Mm-hmm.
including through the Euros, but we haven't contained them yet. I'm surprised by that.
Oh, yeah. And just to reply to Brenda's comment, yes, there are a lot of beekeeping classes available. Like, there are tons of people who will gladly help you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to start a hive, if you want to get into it, definitely look around your community. I'm trying to think of the best resource for that. I am sure there's probably a giant
Your
website that
extension office.
there you
Your
go.
county extension office. Go talk to them. They'll get you set up. Um, and it's highly, highly useful. We have a lovely set of beekeepers that are 2 houses up. So I don't want to, and I won't be beekeeping because that's too close to have happy bees.
Right. We would potentially start a war, and that's not what they need.
No. But, so new strand there. And then I want to know how many people actually got to see Saturn conjunct Jupiter. We didn't. It was all cloudy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was really glad.
it was kind of nasty last night. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I was going out to really look too hard. Like, it was nasty.
Yep. I was hoping to take the camera and go grab some cool pictures, because then I could have my own Saturn Jupiter picture for my astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been gorgeous.
Yes.
Sorry.
Maybe in 20 years we'll get to see it. It won't be at Christmas. Maybe it'll be in the summer. But it just seems to me like West Virginia gets clouded up every time there's a cool astrological event.
Well, what did you expect? We're over by the New River.
I know.
Like, it doesn't take much to like cloud us or fog us in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just occurs.
Yeah. Next time, maybe hopefully we'll be back to traveling and we can make a plan to be somewhere else.
Next time on a Saturn.
Yeah, in 20 years.
In when?
In 20 years.
I thought it was like 800.
That it's a Christmas thing viewable from Earth.
Oh, great. Where do we have to be next time? Is this going to become, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Like, what? Where?
I'd be happy to be sitting in the middle of Mars at
It'll
a nice
clearly
resort.
visible from,
Yeah,
the top of the Eiffel Tower for 14 seconds. Camera's ready.
exactly. I'll take that too.
My God. No, it happens though. It seems to always be the way in West Virginia though, is we're just at a weird place for like all the fun astronomy events.
Right.
Well, and astrological events as they turn out.
Yep.
But yeah, we're always in a weird place for those. We solar eclipses, it's cloudy. Lunar eclipses, it's going to be cloudy. Or
Mhm.
there's a horrible storm, or it's always something.
Right.
Restaurant at the end of the universe, book me a table.
Please pick me up. Beam me out of here, Grays. We are ready for travel.
Aww. Don't forget your towel. Yes, we're sitting here making so many references to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
If you haven't read it, even if you are an adult, if you haven't read it, go read it. You need to
Yeah.
read it. Everyone should read it. It's actually a quick read, despite how big the book is.
Right. And also Illusion. It's another book that you should read.
What was that one again?
The Illusion.
Oh, what is The Illusion?
The Illusion is the book about a guy who has spiritual and amazing abilities, but doesn't want to be a leader.
Okay.
Yeah.
Author. Get her an author.
I'll try. Google's being a Google.
Google is not being a Google. I will say, though, the worst experience of my life was finding out Google was down and then trying to Google why Google was down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nightmare. Let me just tell you, that is a moment when you just can't get your mind to wrap around the concept of Google is down. Like, no, I must know. Why is Google down? I must Google it.
And that gets a little scary, or at least with me, it did the other night when it was down for our Google was down for like 5 minutes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
What's going on?
Like, no, it's the end of the world. This is how the apocalypse begins now.
Well, for me, it was like, everything's in Google Drive. All my email is connected with Google. All our content is hosted on Google. Oh, shit.
It's just as bad when Amazon goes down.
Yeah.
Like, so much of the world is running on Amazon servers now. It is just scary. But yes, and I think we have an author. No. Yes. Maybe.
I'm working on it. I'm having to go through my list.
Oh.
Because, I do have a really long list of books, because apparently I read a lot of them.
Yes. Are you on Audible?
No, I'm over on YouTube.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
The other great source for books, apparently.
Yes.
But yes. Let me see if I can pull this together any faster. Oh, that just pulls up everything. Huh. Okay, good luck with that. Oh my. This may take a minute. I see the problem. Like, I forgot how common those two words are together. In one. And here's where I want to hum the Jeopardy theme, but I'm like, no, we'll get taken down.
Don't. Like, I am still in mourning.
What now? Did your book get taken down?
Maybe.
Oh,
It's no illusion for me.
Illusion?
Mm-hmm.
Illusion.
I wasn't spelling it wrong.
Okay. Let me just say, y'all, he is the epitome of a English teacher's poster that every English teacher had. Bad
Richard
spellers
Beck.
untie. Pardon?
Richard Beck.
Richard Beck. There we go. The Illusion by Richard Beck.
Yep.
But yes. But no, bad spellers untie. Okay, no one's going to go with me on that one. All right.
No, I am the nightmare of every English teacher. But I am not the superior nightmare of every English teacher.
Well, true. You can text to speech and it works well.
I love text
It's just,
speech. But no.
guys, let me tell you though, he uses it intermittently. When he runs into a word he can say but not spell. Right. So he'll just be randomly walking through the house and all of a sudden it's like illusion. And it's like, what? And he's like, I didn't know how to spell it.
And I just moved on.
Like, okay. Like he just randomly blurts out words. Like everything's quiet. The house is quiet. The dogs are quiet. The cats are quiet. Nothing is going on. And just randomly he's like, counterfeit, just random words just out of thin air. And it's like
powder perspective.
Do what now?
Powder. You have to say powder. It's preferable perspective, but you have to say powdery perspective for my phone to understand the word.
He's even learned how to trick the phone.
Yes.
Get what he wants.
I am a pro at this and getting it to do what I want. I can get I can get her to do more things for me this way. If I speak bad English, she understands me perfectly. If I speak nice, common, inducive language, doesn't even acknowledge.
Well, sometimes, and I think this is an important thing for any of you struggling with the hers or the hems, the trigger word, say it, pause, and then say your command. Always do a little pause. Because the trigger word is just enough to wake it up and realize that it ought to be listening. There's typically a delay there before it pops in and starts listening. That's why, we have trouble with some commands, is because I'm the world's worst for it. When I first wake up, I'm just like, straight into it, and it's like, blah. And then she's like, you want a what? Like, she might as well just be like, you want a what?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she does. Is like,
well, I'm looking for to advance it to where we can have each device set to a different wake-up word. That way we can.
True. Like, we are getting there. Like, we have yeah. We created a Bermuda Triangle in the middle of the house. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Like, words go in, and then like Amelia Earhart pops up. We're like, what the hell?
If they found her body in the South Seas, let's move on.
Okay.
She ain't missing.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so Brenda actually has a book recommendation. The Long Sandy Hair of Nephtoin Zamora by Michael Nesmith.
Yes, of the that would be
the monkeys.
Yep. Very cool.
Michael Nesmith.
Let me see. There's some other books that I think everyone should read. Or are they in here? No. I will. That may be something I type up and put in a magazine one time as books, Aeson, things everyone should read.
There you go. And especially going into New Year, that might be a good one for next month.
Yeah, that might be our main article.
There you go. Books we should read.
Yep. Well, guys, it's been fun. We will see you Friday. You'll see me in the morning. Check out not only my TikTok, but also I'm adding it to my Facebook story and my Instagram story. And it will probably be uploaded to YouTube. I'm still debating on that one. It's 1 minute of content, so I don't know, but I'll probably will. And of course, we have a lot of things going through there. All right, y'all. Off to it, Vanna.
All right. Well, of course, we want to thank our Patreon sponsors for their support. We can't do it without you. We do love you. So we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, and of course the Crystal Lotus Shop located at 89 Old Main Plaza in St. Albans, West Virginia. If you're in the area, make sure you stop in and check them out. I don't know why I just lost it there. Anyway, if you want to learn more about us, the show, or how to become a Patreon sponsor and all the benefits you'll receive, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
And also a message to our sponsors. You do have packages being delivered.
Ho, ho, ho.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great evening. Be safe, be kind, wash your hands, wear your mask, and remember, act intelligently. Good night, y'all. Good night, Joe.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Bad lines, people.